Can your dashcam notify you when your car is hit while it is parked? And can your dashcam do this?
Capture inside, and the camera will turn around and you'll be able to see me.
Hello guys, LifeHackster here, and today we are going to check and test out the 70 4K Omni dashcam, which this one can rotate 360 degrees and also can record in 4K up to 60 FPS. I also tested this hardwired to my truck because this can be also set up together with the 70 4G hardwire kit. And now you'll be notified on your phone when someone is detected lingering near your car or hits or bumps it even when you're hundreds of miles away. You can also remotely access and view your dashcam if needed. Companies are now adding 4G connectivity feature on their dashcams, which is a good thing. And the real-time notifications are the ones that prompted me to hardwire this to my truck. There's some caveats to this though, which I'll talk about here later in the video, so keep on watching. Also, 70 sent this dashcam to me to be checked out together with their 4G hardwire kit. So thank you, but this is not sponsored. They have no input or have not previewed this video. And also thank you for EIoT Club for donating their SIM card with their prepaid plan so they can test out the 4G or internet connectivity of this dashcam. Remember, if you want notifications and remote access, it needs to connect to the internet, so it has to have 4G cellular connection, like your phone. This 4K Omni dashcam records in 4K quality, 3840 by 2160 pixel resolution, up to 60 frames per second when used by itself. But when the rear camera is connected, frame rate goes down to 30 FPS. The rear camera records in 1080p also at 30 FPS. This has the Starvis 2 sensor, which decreases glare at night. Also, this uses supercapacitors, not batteries. It has GPS and ADAS. Unique features of this dashcam is that aside from being able to use voice commands to position the camera to the front or the inside or to the right or left, it also has motion tracking when it is in park mode. Inside the box, we have the dashcam itself, a different egg-shaped design. We have a small screen here, micro SD card slot covered with this rubber flap. We have a USB-C port for power, a small port here for the rear camera. We have the mounting tape. We have a power and up and down buttons. And the camera rotates 340 degrees for 360 coverage. We have a speaker here, and this part opens up and this adjusts the angle of the camera. We also have the rear camera, and this turns to adjust, and this will connect to the rear cable. We have a car charger with 2 USB ports and the power cable around 11.5 feet in length. We have some paperwork, an extra mounting tape, transparent films for mounting. We also have a trim push tool and the rear cable, and together with the cable from the rear camera, it's around 20 feet in length. Also, the mount itself, you can twist it to the right and it comes off, and twist it a bit to the left and it will lock it in place. This dashcam is compatible up to a 512GB micro SD card. Make sure to get a dashcam brand or high endurance cards. This kit that I received also comes with a CPL or circular polarizing filter, which has 2 parts. A mount, which is friction fit, has a rubber lining inside, which you can just push in on the dashcam lens, and then you can snap in the magnetic filter. 70 also sent me their 4G module hardware kit, which is compatible only with AT&T data SIM cards. And this comes with a USB-C to USB-C cable to connect the module to the dashcam. And we have the module itself. Double-sided tape to mount it. We have the USB-C port here to plug in the cable to the dashcam. And on this side, we have the SIM card holder tray, which you can use the push pin here to pop it open. And I will be placing the EIoT SIM card with preloaded plan, and I will link down below their site. And I'll tell you in the end how much data I used. Now, as to the wiring and to hardwire this, like any other dashcams, you only need to connect 3 wires. We have the yellow or accessory wire, and this is only powered when the car is on. And the red one is constant power even when the car is off. And lastly, the ground. It looks simple, right? But the issue is with this 70 hardware kit is you have to splice this to your car's wiring. So I highly recommend, especially if you have a later model car, to get this professionally installed. Looking for your car's wires to splice into this is the issue. The easier DIY method is using fuse taps, but unfortunately 70 doesn't have this option. So I have to combine and rig mine with another brand's hardwired kit. And I'm just going to tell you what I did, but this is not a tutorial to do it. I'm using the Rove brand hardware kit, and by the way, this is one of the better hardware kits out there because they include everything. Like, it also comes with a line tester and the fuse taps, which are the ones that I'm going to use. I do have to splice the Rove's connector though to the 70 and on my truck's fuse box, using Rove's included voltage meter, I look for the fuses that I can use for my always on power and the accessory line, avoiding fuses that powers essential components. And remove this fuse, and this is only powered when the car is on, and plug it in on the yellow fuse tap and insert it where I removed the fuse, and also unplug one of the always on fuse and plug it in on the red fuse tap and push it back in like so. Plug in the 70 4G module, yellow to yellow. I found a common ground screw and screwed in the black ground wire, and then plug in the red wire of the 4G module to the always on line, and that's it. As you can see, the module is receiving power. And I just have to clean up the wiring. To install the dash cam, clean your windshield, put in the transparent film, peel off the liner on the mount, and stick it to the transparent film. Make sure that the rear view mirror, in my case, is not going to block the camera because it rotates and pans around. Peel off the liner on the rear camera and stick it to your back window. And plug it into the rear cable and tuck the wiring in to hide it. Plug in the cable to power up the camera and tuck it into your headliner, then in front of your A-pillar to avoid the airbags, and down to your dashboard. Do the same thing for the rear camera cable and plug it into the dash cam. Now, the USB-C to USB-C cable from the 4G hardware kit is a bit too short that it just ends up halfway down my dashboard. So for now, I'm just going to plug this in to power up the dash cam, and I'll just put this in my glove compartment. I will need a longer cable to hide and install this module properly. I'll just breeze through the camera settings, but you will need the 70 app to set up the 4G module. You have to connect the app to the Wi-Fi of the dash cam. Add 4G, SIM card inserted, and module connected, and car started. And it will configure and add the 4G functionality to the dash cam. And it is connected. Now, as to the dashcam settings, there is the resolution, loop recording duration, and similar settings to other dashcams. But I'll show you because this camera can pan. You can set its position when in driving mode and also when in park mode. And these are the settings that you can change in park, or what they call sentinel mode. You can change the sensitivity of the G sensor and also to activate it after 5 minutes of parking to minimize false detection. And you have a separate sensitivity for motion detection. It also has a time-lapse feature during parking mode if you want. And you can set the battery level to when the dashcam will turn off. And I've set mine to 12 volts so it will not totally drain my battery. And these are all the other settings that you can change. As to 4G connectivity in the app, just click remote surveillance and it will connect to the dashcam, and which it takes a bit of time to load up the live view. In here, you can switch the view to the rear camera. And if you enlarge to horizontal mode, you'll be able to rotate the camera around. Alarm Center, where you will find the event recordings which were uploaded to the cloud. It will show you a map where it happened, which I blurred out for privacy, and you can download this to your phone. Let's say you got a notification of suspicious motion. It will load up the map of where your car is and play the recording. And as you can see, it is able to track the motion. Now, time to do some testing.
So this is the video and audio quality of the 70 4K Omni, and the front-facing camera is recording in 4K, 3840 by 2160, up to 60 frames per second. But at this moment in time, I have set this up with a rear-facing camera that records in 1080p. When both the cameras are on, it can only record 30 frames per second. But by itself, it can record at 60 FPS. And this is what the video quality looks like. And one cool thing about this Omni 4K is that I can do this. Capture inside. And the camera will turn around and you'll be able to see me. And you can also say capture to the right side, or capture left. Camera reset.
Snapshot with a dashcam recording at 30 FPS, and this time set to 60 FPS.
Alright, so this is the video quality of the 70 Omni 4K dash camera at night. And this has a Starvis 2 sensor, and this is what it looks like. Capture inside. And this is what it looks like inside. I'm not sure if it switched to infrared. I don't think it has infrared, so we'll see. But this is what it looks like. Camera reset. And goes back in the front. And this is what the video quality looks like of a Starvis 2 sensor and recording in 4K in the front and 1080p at the back. So I have two channels set up, so both are recording at 30 frames per second.
As to motion tracking, I do have to set it to the highest sensitivity so as to trigger it and be able to track. So what do you think? Video quality is pretty good in the main camera and also pretty decent at night with its Starvis 2 sensor. The rear camera on the other hand is only 1080p. I wish it is in 2K, especially this is their flagship dashcam. Things to note when the dashcam is hardwired either with 4G module or just their regular hardwire kit. The motion detection is only available on the front camera and not the rear one. I recommend also to use hardwiring mostly on your daily driver, not your weekend car or cars that you don't use that often. Because in my testing with my 1.5-year-old battery, the dashcam will only last a day and a half. And then it has to turn off because the battery is below the protection threshold, which is 12 volts in my setting. Which also works by the way, so this is not going to drain your battery to the point that it will not start. As to the 4G connection, it is good that you will get remote notifications when your car's G sensor has been triggered, like your car got hit in the parking lot or when someone is lingering around your car. It is just a little bit delayed, and it is within a minute or so. I wish it could be faster, like the Ring car cam. As to the events, it has a 10 seconds pre-recording and 20 seconds after, giving you a total of 30 seconds of recording per event. This will also be uploaded to the cloud in 720p resolution for the front camera and 1080p on the rear camera. The main videos on the dashcam and on the SD card are in full resolution. As to 4G, after all my testing, I used 700 megabytes of data, so it will really depend on your use. What I like about EIoT Club SIM cards is that if you run out, just refill it. You don't have to remove or replace your SIM card. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.